Ron Stevens on the radio, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. for 2 hours of the decade of Elton John, the Eagles, and disco. The Super 70s. The 70s at 7. Saturday mornings on the voice of Nassau Community College. 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, I'm Rob Leonard, host of Beatles Songs for the past 24 years right here on WHPC. Beatles Songs airs every Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., playing the music of the Beatles together, apart, along with Beatle cover songs and songs the Beatles covered, along with songs the Beatle either guested on and or produced. And of course, we provide Beatle news. It's not the same show where they play the same 10 songs. So join me every Friday for Beatle Songs, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, streaming at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Oh, yeah, we're back in the bluegrass mode here on Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Joe D, 516-572-7440. Hang on, we should be speaking with Mr.
I got to go put the stand-up bass back in the corner. Okay.
Yes, and Mr. Bob Golden from Steel Labels. Hopefully he'll be calling us in a minute. We'll talk to him about all of that cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's,
we were talking in the break about that, about the power tools.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, amongst some of the reading some of the stuff in the technicians groups that I belong to, some of the car companies, like Ford most notably, they changed their labor times and they cut them down because they realized that everybody's now using these power tools, all right, in one form or another,
right,
rather than their trusty snap-on wrench or that good old crank type speed wrench and stuff like that. Everything now is pretty much either electric, not even air anymore. And they've cut back to this, the time.
By how much? I mean, how much do you really save by grabbing that battery-powered ratchet or plugging the air hose into the one that's out of the same toolbox?
Well, I from my own experience, it was it's like the lack of the air hose. It's just grab the ratchet and go. I mean, the reason why I bought my ratchet was on YouTube. I was trying to do some study on diesels. There was this Ford tech out in New Mexico, Diesel Tech Ron. God rest his soul. He died in the meantime. He had the same ratchet, and I saw him rip the top end off of all the ductwork and stuff on like a Power Stroke diesel. Real time. This thing buzzed through all those ducts in like 3-4 minutes. Just
wow.
Like zzz, 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 you know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, look at that. Imagine me under a dashboard with that thing or whatnot.
True.
And yesterday I had left mine at the CF when I was over at the shop, and I wanted to disassemble something, trying to get at the power brake booster.
You felt like you left your arm home, right?
Yeah, kinda. And I'm not. Mostly it's my diagnostic stuff, but I do carry some small hand tools with me.
Yeah.
On the fly, because anything bigger I let the shop handle that. But trying to get in there with on an Acura RDX Turbo, trying to get at the power brake booster, to check the vacuum from the vacuum pump and all this other. I was like, forget about it. It's not happening. I mean, I would have had the thing apart in about 2 minutes with the electric ratchet, but doing it by hand, because once you crack loose any little bit of rust or whatever, any kind of stiction there, I mean, the electric tool is just light years ahead.
Hopefully we'll have Bob
Plus
on the
my
line.
Wrist doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have Bob on the line in a few minutes. But after that, I'd like to get good old MATCO man Brian on, because we do talk about this all the time, and we get a tool. I'd like to get the tool guy's perspective. I know all of the tool guys, the guy I use and Brian as well, I know they sell the crap out of this stuff because people want to use it. And sometimes I even, like I said, I haven't gone off that diving board yet, but I do go over to the other toolbox sometimes and I borrow mics, and I'll say, let me use that little, let me use the little 3/8 gun, it'll be a little easier.
Right.
And then on occasion, I'll open my toolbox and take out my 3/8 air ratchet, plug it in, and I told you the first time I was doing brakes, that's what I always used it on. You crack the caliper bolts and then you hit the air ratchet. And he came over one day and he said, what is that? I'm like, what's what? That noise. What is that? I'm like, oh, that? Like,
it's an air ratchet.
I'm like, oh, that's the sound every shop in the world used to buzz with.
Where you been? It is the music of our people.
Exactly.
That and the Ugga Dugga of the Big Impact.
Dugga Dugga. Right, we play the music. So let's go back to the phones, and we will see if we have
Ugga Dugga.
Ugga Dugga. We'll say, hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
This is Bob Golden.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. How you doing, man?
You're on the phone with Ray
Great.
and Joe.
Hey.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Jody.
Hey, what's up, man?
Bob, we've been kind of preempting the hell out of this. We're really selling this hard. We want to talk about steel labels and how they can make a mechanic or a homeowner's life easier. So, I had mentioned that I've been using this product for years, which led me to get back in touch with your company. And I don't even remember how I saw them the first time because it's been years ago. But it's good to see that you're still going strong. You're still putting out a great product, and it's very, very affordable. So give us some background, please, on the company.
Well, we're just a small business in Oregon, and I'm working out of the same place that I've worked out of all my life. This is my garage.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm 70 now, and I have a lot bigger garage.
Yeah.
But now it's half full of printing equipment instead of cars.
Oh, you actually?
But I'm an old.
I didn't realize you printed the stuff there in your garage.
No, we print all the designs and our test marketing.
Okay.
And we in small quantities. And then we go to the $5 million equipment and job it out and have it printed in large quantities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes sense. I got to say, now that I've gotten some newer stuff from you, as opposed to the stuff I had in the past, the presidential series is my favorite.
Yes, the presidential,
It took a lot of work to get it to that stage, but we've been doing the socket labels for about 14 years.
Right.
And they've come a long ways from the first time I did them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of thinking that's got to go into them. First of all is the material that I came up with was a chrome foil material, so that it's tougher. But the standard material tended to lift up because it had a memory, and it wants to lay flat. So before the glue would set up, they would kind of lift on the edges, and this was only if you didn't clean it quite right with alcohol. So then I went to the design and came up with a medical grade super thin polymer that didn't have that memory. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm using so that it holds the curve, especially on the small 1/4-inch sockets.
Yeah.
And then we coat them with a tough coating, and once they're pressed into place and set up for 24 hours or so, they start hardening on and harden on for as long as they're on there, and they're almost impossible to get off after they're on there for a year or so.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be no pranking fellow mechanics.
Well, that's a good thing to know, yeah. Because I got to tell you, I've had, and I've been back and forth with Megan, who works for you, and talked about this a little bit, because I like to give a little bit of a product review. I found on some of my smaller sockets that have a neck down area, that radius proves a big problem for the label. So I've actually cut them down even smaller to make them fit, regardless.
Yeah, that's what I did with the presidential set. Is I made the different sizes. Made a smaller one for the 1/4-inch drive to help it bend around a little bit better and adhere.
Right. And the only time I've lost one of these is I had them more because of the design of the socket. I had to have them more towards the open end, and when that socket went into a tight spot, it wasn't an issue. A fault of the label. It's just that it was in such a tight spot. I did lose one, so I just had to replace it. Yeah, I just replaced it with another one, and hopefully I won't be in that same tight spot again.
That's why one of the reason I invented these is I was underneath a car removing a transmission, got to a 5/16 bracket, a bolt, and I was looking for the 5/16 socket, and I had a little box full of sockets. Mm-hmm. And it took me about half an hour to find it. And I thought, man, there's got to be something that would solve this problem. And then I just thought of labels, and that's where it all generated from.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you need it. What were you changing the transmission on?
I think that was a Honda. at the time.
Okay. I mean, now you came up in the same era that we did, so you must have had some pretty interesting cars back in the day, I would imagine, like most of us did, huh?
Yes, I started out with a 56 Pontiac for $300.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then I got into fixing cars, Chevys, and my high school graduation car, I had a 57 Chevy convertible.
Nice.
But then I got into buying and selling and flipping Mustangs.
Okay.
And it was the 64s and 65s.
Right. Nice,
Yeah,
nice. I bet you wish that you had that convertible 57 today, huh?
Oh, I wish I did.
I know.
I dream about that
Everybody's
car.
got a collection of them things.
Yeah. Well, join the club. We're all in that same boat.
In about the early 80s, I was flipping Mustangs, and I had this guy call and said he had this Mustang for sale. So I went out there and looked at it, and it was just pitted with, like, it had been parked on a golf course or something, and it was primer gray. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to be nice to him, and he started it up for me, and it was missing. So I said, well, probably got a bad valve or something. He said, no, I removed the piston because I blew a rod. And so it's missing one piston.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, thanks a lot. I'll pass on it.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks later, a car lot called me, and they said they had a car they wanted me to see, and it was great. It was nice. It ran good. It was fine. So I drove 60 miles to see it, and it was the same car.
Oh, jeez.
I walked up there, and the guy said, go ahead, start it up. And so he started it up, and it was missing the same as before. Mm-hmm. So I slammed the hood down, and I walked off the car, and I said, are you trying to sell me a car with a missing piston? And the guy's face just turned ashen white. He says, how did you know that? How did you? And followed me all the way off the knot.
Oh, that's great. Wow. Yeah,
you just love it when you freak him out like that.
Information always was and always will be key, I tell you. That's great. Oh, that's funny. So, the thing I found is, myself personally, and I'm sure other people be in the same situation, I have my tool collection at home and I have a tool collection out at the shop I'm working at. So now I have double. It's like, damn, I've been putting labels on things. I got a lot of sockets.
Well, that's another thing is I tried to buy those laser cuts because I couldn't, to read better. But darn if I was going to replace all my tools just so I could read them.
Right.
So that's why I got these at $5. They're cheap enough you can cover all your tools. I
got to tell you one thing that may actually put a crimp in your plan here. It's a big pound on the back for good. Hey, Matco man Brian, who I know is listening to us. Matco has a line of black impact sockets now. I saw it online, and the numbers, they happen to be metric that I saw. The numbers were in orange. I was like, black. Wow. I was like, that is great.
That's better
but it doesn't do us old fogies any good.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to buy all new tools. We're going to keep the ones we got and, use them.
You're right. And that's the thing, though. I find myself in that position, being an older fogey who is buying new tools again, but also now want to optimize my older and my newer tools. And that's where Steel Labels comes in and fills that void. It really does.
You know what our best-selling product is right now?
What's that?
It's those breaker labels.
Oh, for the breakers in the house. Yeah.
Good idea.
To go on the switch. They're top on Amazon.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. I know you have a set that's good for, like, fishing gear and another one for just general household stuff. So I guess...
anything that can make life better.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's really fantastic. So
there is a need for this, especially for us fogies.
Yeah.
So I want to know when you're going to make socket labels in Braille.
In Braille.
I'm going to do that pretty soon.
I actually thought about that.
Hey, one of these days, we're going to be there. Either, we're going to have something to have to talk. 6 millimeter.
Well, I'll tell you something. Hopefully we'll get Brian on later in the show, but he just did let me know that he does like the Steel Labels product, so he's aware of it. So there's a tool guy who knows about it, and I actually showed my tool guy a set of sockets I bought from him. The next week I came back, and I had the labels on them, and he did a double take and said, wait, didn't I just sell those to you? I was like, yeah, you did. He goes, well, not... He goes, what happened? He goes, I didn't sell them to you like that. I said, no, I used Steel Labels, he goes, that looks really good. So, maybe that's the thing. If you could get the infrastructure, get into with some of the tool guys, sell it through them.
Sure.
Because it's not an expensive product. It's very affordable. You know.
Yeah, we're growing so fast that I'm going to have to do something.